share me in an efficient way. That is very important. You just sitting down and spend some time and then just say, I'm not familiar with these things. I do not know how to do this. Then there's no way to help you. So please be proactive. If you have some problem, then share me. I can help you. Some problems I cannot help you. That is possible. So I already told you that even though you are not in Korea, then I suggest I can provide you an hour to help you in private session. That is also possible. Another thing is, if you just do not follow the class and just sitting down here, then I think it is very less possible to follow whole stuff, I guess. Okay, and if you like spend those sessions like 4 or 5 sessions, then it's most likely impossible to follow. 제가 잠깐 얘기를 하면 이 수업은 여러 가지 특성이 있어요. 수학 과목 같은 것과는 조금 다르게 여러분들이 직접 해봐야 되고요. 그리고 일부 학생들은 컴퓨터를 많이 해보지 않은 학생들도 있고요. 그래서 여러분들 그냥 앉아있고 미뤄뒀다가 나중에 하겠다 이런 생각하면 또 시험 때 이 과목만 시험 보는 게 아니잖아요. 그러면 결국 쉽지 않을 겁니다. 그래서 좀 여러분들이 자발적으로 하는 수밖에 없어요. 자, 카메라 다 켜시고요. 자, 제가 일부 학생들이긴 하지만 계속 수업 시간에 왔다 갔다 하고 핸드폰하고 하는 학생들이 있거든요. 근데 제가 이게 수업 시간이잖아요. 비대면이긴 하지만 수업 시간인데 그렇게 하지 마세요. 만약에 나는 정말 오늘 수업에서 별로 들을 것도 없을 것 같고 솔직히 별로 듣고 싶지 않다라고 하면 그냥 들어오지 마세요. 예, 들어오지 뭐라. 자, 카메라 다 켜시고요. 자, 들어오지 마세요. 그냥. 예, 그냥 안 들어오시면 되고. 물론 다수 학생들이 열심히 하려고 한다는 건 알지만 예, 좀 그 부분을 다시 얘기를 하겠습니다. 그래서 나는 별로 이 수업에 뭔가 별로 집중하고 싶지 않으면 카메라 계속 안 켜져 있는 학생이 있고요. 자, 좀 잔소리를 안 했으면 좋겠는데 본인들이 잘 모르는 것 같아요. 김정빈 학생, 조재희 학생, 임승재 학생 카메라 안 켜져 있고요. Okay. So last session, we studied about how can we console out the floating point variable. This time, we will deal with the string. Okay, we will deal with the string. So descriptor of the string is A. So I will show you there are several ways to represent the string. Okay, there are several ways. And now I believe that you all can access the computer. 자, 그리고 여러분들 수업 시간에 저한테 제가 채팅 치라고 하지 말고는 임승재 학생 카메라 안 켜져 있고요. 자, 마지막 얘기하겠습니다. 김민주 학생 카메라 안 켜져 있고요. 자, 이거 저 잔소리 하다 보면 끝도 한도 없어요. 여러분들이 알아서 하지 않으면 자, 계속 잔소리만 하는 거. 1시간 내내 잔소리하고 끝나는 거예요. 자, 이거 하면 자, 지난 시간에도 뭐 계속 수업 시간에 뭐 자기 뭐 접속이 안 된다 이런 거를 채팅으로 물어보면 제가 그 시간에 어떻게 해줍니까? 여러분들 미리 해야 되고 그 여러분들이 자, 여러분들 그냥 딴 거 하시려고 거면 나가세요. 예, 나가시고요. 전화 받지 마시고 드시지 마시고요. 걸어 다니지 마세요. 수업 시간에. 예, 여기저기 계속 걸어 다니면서 뭐 지하철에서 수업 듣고 그렇게 하지 마시고 그냥 들어오지 않으시면 됩니다. 예, 그거 뭐 출석 하나 안 들었다고 큰일 나는 거 아니니까 그냥 그렇게 하지 마세요. 예. 그리고 뭐 드시는 거 이런 거 하지 마시고 그냥 앉아 있는 것까지는 제가 오케이 하겠는데 뭐 계속 어딜 돌아다니고 있거나 이러면 너무 신경 쓰여요. 예. 그건 좀 하지 않았으면 좋겠습니다. 예. 그냥 수업 별로 듣고 싶지 않으면 그냥 안 들어와도 돼요. Okay. So now there are three ways to console out the string, first thing is we can combine the string and append the real number. First thing is there is a string here. If we put comma sign and put floating point variable, they will console out the R is 0.01, the R1 value is 0.01, and we specify the format 101 F4.2. So A means before the floating point number, there is a string that is matched to A, and the format for the string point, floating point variable is 4.2. So it have to be 0.01. Okay, it have to be 0.01. So that is the first way. Another way is those ways also possible. So you can specify the string in the format. Okay, in the format is also possible. So those two ways give the same result. Final way is you do not use those specifier, then just use those fixed format in those slots. That is also working. So string and point variable, floating point variable. So those three will yield the consistent result. Okay, so let's check it. So three same results. Okay, so there are the three same ways to specify the format of the string and combine the number or other numbers. Okay, so there are three ways so to use the formatted string. And massive array input. So for those examples, so how many elements of the array A? 이동인 학생, how many elements are there for array A?
3.
3. So we assign three numbers. First thing is A1, second thing is A2, third thing is A3. In principle, we have to specify those ways. That is principal way. So okay, so we can console out three numbers. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that way. But for more convenient way is we can just substitute those ways, then it will yield the same result. So it is massive output, okay? Massive output. So we can specify all elements of array within the fixed format, okay? That is also possible. If you are something not clear, then please stop me and ask, okay? Just do not sit it down and just, I'm not really clear what's going on, but just spending time, that is not efficient way to study this, okay? Okay, here is another example. So also, like a listing 4.5 shows, it is two-dimensional arrays. So 이경수 학생, how many elements are in array A? How many elements? 자, how many, 이경수 학생, 안 들려요. How many arrays are there for array A? What?
9.
9. So there are 9 elements. And if we specify the row of it, then how many there are elements in second row? 이선경 학생, how many elements are there? 이선경 학생.
Yes.
How many elements are in second row?
3.
3. So for second most, it have to be 2 plus 1 multiplied by 1, it will be 12. Another element is 13, another element have the 14. So it will yield 12, 13, 14, I guess. So let's check. Oh. Okay, here is I and another thing is J. So they will cancel out since there is comma there. Okay, since there is comma there. So they will cancel out 12, 22, 32. That's the result, right? So then what is the result of it? 배한준 학생, 이거는 결과가 뭘까요?
I don't know.
You don't know. 민승호 학생, 결과가 뭘까요?
I don't know.
김건우 학생, 결과가 뭐예요?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure, so still answering.
I'm sorry to just I don't know.
정석희 학생, what's the answer?
21, 22, 23.
21, 22, 23. That is correct, right? That is correct. Very nice. 정석희 학생 잘했고요. Okay, so the important thing is once we specify the row, then it will yield. It have to be like it is same as 2, 2, 2, 3, right? So then it have to be 22, 32, 12, 22, 32, right? That's the result. 이게 잘 이해가 안 간다고 하면 다시 물어보세요. 이렇게 쓰면 if you put column there, then it will yield all number which their row number is 2. So it have to be 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3. Okay? Okay. If no question, then we will proceed. 진행하겠습니다. Okay, so now we will learn about how can we generate a file and read a file. Okay, so here we used open statement. We used open statement to open the file. Open statements, so far we have learned how can we read the number through the console and output the contents to the console. So through the console, we have learned. Now, if we use open, then so far it all have to be asterisk so far to console out. However, if we specify the numbers, then it means we will write in the file, okay? So we can specify the unit number here. We can specify the unit number here. We can specify the file number here, file name here. So file is source11.txt. Okay, that is a file number, source11.txt. So I will remove all source file here. Okay? I will remove all txt file here. And run the code, compile the code, and run it, nothing is there. However, if you take the root, then there are new files generated. source11.txt, and you can specify the time is current time, 12/14 and September 29th. It means it is current, so the file is generated. And the content we can imagine. So it has to be 1 to 100. right? 1 to 100 because there are loops inside. So 1 to 100, okay? There are two ways to show the content. First thing is you can open the file using the VI or Linux command. Cat will allow you to show the content of the file name, file contents, okay? So please repeat this code and check that those files generated properly, okay? 자, 잠깐 한번 따라가 보세요. Okay, please do not just sit it down and don't do anything. Then you cannot get familiar with it. Okay? 자, 그냥 가만히 앉아 있지 마세요. 자, 가만 앉아 있지 마십시오. Hafiz, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm quite okay. I'm
So you can do this.
suffering with my neck.
Okay, so 자, 채팅 치지 마세요. 제가 수업 시간에 채팅을 어떻게 봐요? 자, 채팅 안 보니까 자, 채팅 치면 못 봐요. 못 봅니다. 그냥 못 본다고 보시면 돼요. 제가 50명 수업하는데 어떻게 채팅을 쳐요? 자, 질문하세요. 질문할 사람 있으면. 자, 이게 1대1 수업이 아니잖아요. 제가 50명 수업을 하는데 어떻게 여러분들 DM을 보고 있어요. 수업 시간에.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I didn't exactly understand the meaning of unit.
So unit is, if we specify the unit of this file in current line, open, then we can write to those unit number. It means we write those content to that file. And once we open the file, we must close it. Okay, we must close it. So there are, so if we use like different numbers, like 51, then in that cases, those contents will not be written on those sol11.txt file, okay? So you have to use consistent number.
Professor, is that the third bracket after SO in line number 4?
What?
Sorry. Is
What?
that third bracket? In open
Yeah.
unit equals to 50, file equals to after that?
I do not get it.
In
Please.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In line number 5.
Line number 5.
Is that third bracket after SO or is it written L?
Line number 5 is implicit none.
No. After that. I'm
What?
talking about the programming line.
Column line. On to,
Line started with open. Before the line started with do. Yeah. After the file.
after the file. Okay.
Yeah. Is that SO after the SO? What did you read? Right?
L.
Yeah. Is it third bracket?
Is that what?
What is the third bracket or something called L? I just.
Yeah, it's so 1. Yeah. Please
Oh,
type it.
okay.
Okay, please type it. Okay. In public, that direct message. Okay. 자, everybody properly generate the file. Something problem, please raise your hand. 자, 문제 있는 사람, 자, 손 드시고요. 다 됐나요? Okay, I believe most of you are okay. So, okay, then here the first example. There are a wide range of the space in front of the number because we do not specify the number, specify the width of the number. So now it is better because the file contents, let's say file contents now in bytes is 1,300 bytes, right? You can check in the system. Okay, it is 1,300 bytes. Maybe it is too much. Okay, so if we use formatted output, then we will reduce it more. So let's check about it. If I specify the width of the number I3, because the maximum width of the number in this range is 3, 100. So if we reduce it by using the formatted output, then we can generate the file more efficiently. So here, then there's another file, sour12. Okay, sour12 file is generated. And since I specified the width of the number, so it have to be 3. Okay, so it have to be 3. So let's check the file size. Okay, it is only 400. Okay, so content does not change. However, we can reduce the file size significantly. Okay, since it is 1,300 bytes, it's not big deal. Maybe it can be megabytes, gigabytes. Then waste of the memory can be a problem, right? So that's why we can use the and any student who can reduce the size a little bit more, then please modify your code and share me. 자, 여기서 혹시 파일 사이즈 좀 더 줄일 수 있겠다 싶은 학생은 줄여서 저한테 보여주세요. If you can share the code, then it will be really appreciated. 자, 이거 한번 해보시고 만약 보여주실 코드 있으면 좀 보여주세요. 저는 그런 학생 아주 좋아합니다. 제가 좋아하는 게 중요한 건 아니겠지만 그래도. Any idea? 자, 제가 권한을 줄 테니까 코드를 좀 쉐어를 해줘요. So if you find another better way to reduce the file size more, then please share me. 무슨 소리죠? 소리를 내고 있는 거. So no one find the solution? No one finds. 아무도 얘기할 사람 없어요? Okay, if we use like a if statement, then there are better way, right? Think about if I can, just one is enough. I's have to be. Two. So this code means if width of the number is 1, then we will use only 1 space. With 2, 2 space. With 3, 3 space. Then you do reduce more, right? So one space, two space, three spaces. So no reading spaces. However, the content is same. So let's check the code. So the quantity is only 292. Okay, so we can reduce the more. So using just one simple if statement, then we can save the file a lot. Like comparing 1,300 is much more efficient. Okay. No question. So fine. Okay, then so far we make and write something to the file. Okay, so now I would like to read the file. So we can open file and now we can write also. However, I would like to read it. Okay, so from the first column, first row, we can read the number. So sur 11 is nothing but 1 to 100. Okay, 1 to 100. So in the first loop, we will read only 100 times the file. So it have to be 1 to 100. And once we add it to the S, accumulate to the S, then finally the summation, what is the summation? 자, 이 총합은 얼마가 될까요? What is the summation? Any volunteer?
Maybe 5,050.
Okay, who are you?
이민선.
Yeah, right, that is correct. So it have to be 50-50. So my question is then what about if we read only half? Then what's the answer? 자, 이렇게 되면 answer 얼마일까요? What's the answer? 김예진 학생, 이거 얼마예요?
multiply 25.
Right, that will be fine. So if we only want to 50, so summation have to be 1,275. Okay, so that's how we add the number. Okay, so the problem is, in this case, hopefully we know the number of the lines. Okay, then but the thing can happen. Like let's say, if some lines are removed, 3 lines are removed, then how many lines are there? 19학번 이동규 학생. How many rows are there? How many lines are there?
97.
Okay, 97. So for that cases, if this code is not enough, because they will read 100 lines, okay? So this code cannot be specified, cannot be used because number of lines are changed. So for every time we change the line numbers, then we have to change this number. That is very inefficient way. So I will show you the better way. The better way is open the file, and now we use another specifier, IOStat. IOStat means if we read the number correctly, it will enter other number, it will enter the 0. iOS will be set up by the 0. If we could not read the number, let's say end of file, if we meet the end of file, then iOS will return other value than 0. So it will not add the numbers there, and this loop is performed until iOS equals 0. So it will exit the loop. Okay. So as Dongyu said, Now the number 5 is in a number of data are 97. So let's check it. So 97, and there is a summation is showed up. The merit of this code comparing to the of previous code is we do not specify number of the rows, okay? Even though we do not specify it, however, we can iterate all data in the file. So this code can be better, right? 자, 무슨 얘기인지 알겠죠? 로우의 수를 미리 지정해주지 않더라도 이 코드는 잘 작동하는 겁니다. 왜냐하면 since that is merit of the IO step, okay? IO step means input output step, okay? So since we used IO step, now we can use the code without specifying number of whole iterations. Okay. So please practice your code. And if you remove change the number of rows and test it, okay? So whether this one works properly or not. So any problem with it, then please let me know. Okay, so we are all fine. Now we will move on to the function. Okay, now we will move on to the function. So Fortran, we already studied something about the functions. Here is the absolute function. So why is a function? Function is, please read the textbook in previous, okay? So function and subroutine, Fortran support function and subroutine. Also, we can declare the function, and Fortran support the intrinsic function like ABS. ABS will return the absolute value of the integer or floating point variable. Okay, so absolute means like the absolute value of 3 have to be 3. Absolute value of -3, -3 is a 3 still. 3.14. 3.14, then it will be 3.14. So all have to be positive. So absolute value of 3 is a 3, -3 is a 3. negative 3 on 4 is 3.14. So there are various types of intrinsic functions in Fortran. Like a modulo means divide, and what is the modulo of it? Remainder value, absolute value, summation, mean value, max value, square root, sine, cosine, tangent, arctangent, arccosine, arcsine, exponential, logarithm, square root, sine, truncate, round off. Many ways, okay, many functions, and also you can declare it. So so first of all, why don't we start from the logarithm function? So r is a 2.0 and log means ln, okay, it's natural logarithm. So let's check the value. So it had to be 0.69 something. So once we show the result,
Professor, we can't see your the command
okay,
page.
log 2, it will be 0.3 something, okay? Why don't you try ln 0.69 something, okay? So as you see here, logarithm means natural logarithm, okay? Log ln2 means 0.69 something, right? So Fortran also supports the natural logarithm. We can easily convert it to the log base 10. So how can you do this? Just doing this, okay? That's enough. That will convert the value to the log 10, right? Okay. So Fortran supports logarithm, another functions. So as I told you that we already studied the example in, so here arctangent. So I move on to the arctangent here, and here you think about this triangle. Arctangent pi divided by 4 means 1. Arctangent 1 means pi divided by 4. So all trigonometric functions in Fortran is based on the radian, not degree, okay, based on the radian. So arctangent 1.0 means pi divided by 4, okay, according to this triangle. So once we multiply by the 4 there, then it will return the pi, okay? So here, so that is also pi, and here is also pi, okay, 2 pi's. Okay, here is 2 pi. And since this is single precision and double precision, and as we studied, double precision is more accurate, okay? Double precision is more accurate. So please check the result. So single precision, it will be 3.1415927 something, okay? Double precision is 159.265 something. So what is the, then please find the accurate value of the pi. Accurate value of the pi is around here. If I Google it, then I can specify the accurate value of the pi. It will be here. It will be here. Accurate value is here. So once we compare those two values, then we can easily verify that, okay, oh, double precision is more accurate because it will be same as 2, 6, 5, 3, 5, okay, until 9. So all values are same. However, for single precision, from those 6 points, decimal points, the number is different. Okay, so we can also use arctangent in Fortran. So far, question or comments?
Professor, I have a question.
Yeah, who are you?
This is Jung Do-won.
Yes.
In the code, it said pi underbar d equals 4.0 d0. And what does d0 means?
D0 means it's actually not necessary. However, thing is, I would like to emphasize that this number is double precision. Okay, it's actually exponent notation, but we usually put D0 there to specify that, to emphasize that this number is a double precision. Okay. Okay. Here, I specify the pi, and T1 is pi divided by 6. So it's in terms of degree, it's around 30 degree. So I would like to ask, what is cosine T1? 정웅재 학생. What is cosine T1? 윤시원 학생, what is cosine T1?
root 3 divided 2.
What?
2분의 루트 3.
2분의 1?
루트 3. 루트 3.
그러면 사인은?
2분의 1. 1 divided 2.
Okay, so let's check the result. Check for the answer. So cosine pi divided by 6, it will be actually 60 degree, right? Sorry about the previous assumption. It is 60 degrees, so it will be square root of 3 divided by 2, and sine square root of 2 pi divided by 6 is 0.5. Okay, so it will be relatively accurate. Okay, so okay, gets done. Okay. Truncate and round off. So I think we already studied about the truncate and round off. So random number. So there are 3 functions. I will show you 3 functions. First function is random number will generate the random number between 0 to 1. Okay, random number will show up the number between 0 to 1. Int is truncate the decimal points. 버림, 소수점짜리 버림. AN int is round to the first decimal point. 소수점 첫째 자리에서 반올림. Okay, so it will be different. Okay, it will be different. So let's check the result. So here, 9.14, truncation is also 4, round off is also 4, right? 35.38, the result is the same. However, sorry about that. Here is the running result. So now you can see the command window. 4.48, the result of the truncation and round off is the same, 4 and 4, right? However, the situation can be different, like let's think about this case. 31.86, then truncation is still 31, however, round off is 32 because decimal point is larger than 0.5, okay? So there are basically 2 ways to convert the floating point to the integer. First thing is truncation. Another way is round off, okay, to the first decimal point. So now you can understand the difference of it. And the number is generated. Let's move on. So here we generate the number between 0 to 1, random function, random number, we generate the random function, and we multiply the I to the number. Okay, like let's say I is a 10 and random number is 0.5, then it will be J will be 5, right? And there is also, here is truncation, J is truncated number, K is round off number, okay? So since we use different functions. So there are some numbers, J and K is the same, some numbers, J and K is different, and their difference have to be 1, and K have to be always larger than J, or same, larger or same than J. 지금 이 말들이 다 이해가 되죠? Something is not clear. 자, 여러분들 개별적으로 채팅을 치거나 이러면 제가 대답을 못 해줘요. 제가 못 본다니까요. 제가 지금 수업하고 있잖아요. 여러분들 채팅 치는 걸 제가 어떻게 봐요? 안 돼요. 그러니까 그냥 마이크를 켜고 질문을 하십시오. Okay, so far so good. Now we can customize the function. So far we have learned how can we use the Fortran intrinsic functions. 자, 여러분들 질문이 안 하면 비대면 수업 특성상 계속 진도 그냥 나가는 거예요. 그냥 알 수가 없잖아. 제가 여러분들 어떻게 하는지 잘 모르는데 여러분들 피드백 안 주면 그냥 계속 진도 나가는 겁니다. 예, 어쩔 수 없어요. 그러니까 제가 질문하라는 거는 질문을 많이 하면 진도가 좀 늦어져요. 근데 안 하고 코멘트 안 하면 그냥 계속 나가는 겁니다. 책 끝나고 다른 걸 더 할 수도 있어요. Okay, so far we have learned how can you use log. However, in mathematically, if the input argument of the log is negative, it is not mathematically defined. Log is only defined for the argument positive. Log 0 is also not defined. log 0도 정의가 되지 않죠. log는 positive한 넘버에 대해서만 정의가 됩니다. Then, but in computer world, maybe negative input can go inside as the input. So we would like to avoid that situation. So for that cases, we would like to define the customized function CLog. CLog means it is a function, and if the input argument R is negative, just assume it is 0. Otherwise, call logarithm function. Here is the example. How can we define the customized function log? And there's the first way is we have to variable C log here because it have to be floating point variable because their return type is real. 이것의 C log와 이 타입은 같아야 되고요. Also, we have to define the input parameter R there. So input arguments floating point variable. Okay, so it is separated functions. Why do we use those kind of functions? Because we can use multiple points. 자, 코드 안에서 여러 군데서 사용할 수 있는데 이렇게 함수로 만들어 놓으면 여러 군데에서 부르기만 하면 되잖아요. 그러니까 이렇게 반복 작업을 할 때는 이렇게 함수로 만들어 두는 겁니다. So here is the declaration and body of the functions. Return type is real. Return type is here. Input argument have to be also floating point variable. And those numbers have to be same. What is same? C log have to be same. Okay. So once you set the number to the C log, it have to be returned to the position where C log is called. Okay. So minus 1.0 will be called here. So 김현민 학생, what's the result of the R1?
0.0.
0.0. What is the point of 2.0? 조동현 학생?
log 2.
Log 2. So it's 0.6 something, right? So let's check it. So 0.69 something. Okay, so please repeat this example, and if something is not clear, then share me. 자, 이거 반복을 한번 해보세요.
Excuse me, Professor.
Yeah, who are you?
Excuse.
Who are you?
My name is 이민서.
Yes.
In this code, there is return.
Yeah.
What does this mean? What this mean?
Return means complete the code and return the C log value to the where it goes. So C log values means we set up the C log values without the declaration because the name have to be same as the function name. So code return, then set it that this function is terminated and please return the C log value to the where it goes here. Okay, where it goes. So C log, when it is -1 means C log becomes 0, then 0 will be returned to the here. Okay, that's how code works.
Professor,
Yes,
I have a question.
yes. For you,
최정훈.
이름을 말을 하고요. 예. Yes.
If I
Who
want
are you?
to make 최정훈.
Yeah.
If I want to make integer function,
Yes.
how can I do
Integer function.
that? Return value is integer.
To make it integer, then
Yeah.
first of all, okay, very good question. First of all, I would like to change it to the integer and change it to the integer. That this just becomes integer function. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Professor,
Yes, who are you?
my name is Lee Song-seok.
Yes.
If the logarithm is not defined, then the C log is 0.0.
Logarithm not defined. No, they will return nan, not a number. So it will
Not a
create
number.
confusion. Okay.
Okay.
Professor, this is Jong-Doan and I have a question.
Yes.
I think I write the code without the return, but it works well. So is it necessary to write?
Still it works. However, the specified return is better way. Okay. Sometimes it doesn't work. Maybe. Yeah, without that still working. Yeah, without that, like let's say it's the same as without the stop, there is no problem. However, specify the termination is always better way. Okay. Okay. Because at least the possibility is not high, but there can be some problem. Okay. Okay, so there are, okay, so everybody is now fine. So you are now be aware that you are aware that how can we use a function in Fortran and how can you customize the function? Okay, and please read the textbook. Okay, please read the textbook. Okay. So now we will use some advanced functionality of the Fortran subroutine. Subroutine is a kind of extended function. Okay, extended function. So what is extended? So now we do not need to declare the like a swap variables there. However, the difference is we have to specify code, okay, to call the swap functions, okay, to call the swap functions. And we use a subroutine here. And since I and j is input, and we also use TMP there, temporal variables. So, okay. So here we call the swap functions here. Then I is usually 2 and j is 3. Okay. I is 2 and j is 3. So think about I is 2, j equal 3. And call swap function. 원희재 학생. Then what is TMP value here? What is TMP value here?
I think it's 2.
2, correct. Okay, so now TMP becomes 2. 김유한 학생.
Yes.
Then what is I value after this line is executed?
3.
3. 원민식 학생. What is J value after this line executed?
2.
2. So finally, the I value and J values are swapped. And these 3 line codes are most simplest code to swap 2 values. Okay? 이 세 줄 코드가 이 세상에서 가장 간단한 2개의 값을 바꿔주는 코드예요. 하나의 임시 변수 선언에서 we declare one temporary room and then change it. So once we call it, then what is the value of I and j after calling swap? 엄서영 학생 얼마일까요? 엄서영 학생 얼마예요? 안 들려요.
I don't know.
예? 엄서영 학생 뭐라고요? I beg your pardon?
I don't know.
You don't know. 이남준 학생.
Sorry, I don't understand question.
What is the output of the I and j in this line? That's my question.
Two comma 3.
2,3. 김정빈 학생.
3,3 and
3,2. Because after we call the swap, then their value have to be swapped. So it have to be 3,2. So it have to be 3,2. Before calling the swap, it have to be 2,3, right? Okay. Final example. Then why do we use subroutines? The first thing is for functions, only one value can be returned. However, if we solve like quadratic equations, 우한상 학생. What is the condition to make this example quadratic equation? What is the condition of it?
Zero comma C.
What is the condition to make this equation quadratic?
B square 2 minus 4AC.
No, I do not answer the. Okay, 박수현 학생, what is the condition for to make this equation quadratic?
컨디션이 조금 하는 거야?
안 들려요? I cannot hear you.
컨디션이 조금 하는 거 아니면
이우승 학생, what is condition?
X equal -1 and -2.
Not answer. I asked the condition to make this equation quadratic.
그냥 A는 0보다 크다 아니야? 2차 방정식.
Any volunteer?
any zero?
Okay, A have to be not zero. If A is zero, then this equation is not quadratic any longer. 자, 2차 방정식을 위한 조건을 물어봤잖아요. So in this example, we assume that A is not zero. If A is not zero, there are still possibility that there are two answers or one answers or zero answers in real numbers. However, in general, we can have two answers, right? So we do need two returns. In that case, function can have only one return, so function is not enough. So that's why we use subroutine here. So this quadratic equations means x squared 3x plus 2 equals 0. So what is the answer of these quadratic equations? 유동수 학생 얼마인가요?
1 and 2.
1 and 2. So let's check it. Okay. So we have the answers there. So it will give -2 and -1 because there have to be, yeah, it have to be -1 and -2, right? Not, it have to be plus, okay, +2. So it is just a formulation of the solution. So since A equal not 0, then it works. Or those square root have to be positive. So it is only working for the cases this positive and A is also positive. No, not necessarily positive, non-zero. Okay, A equal non-zero and B equal positive, then this solution, this code will works. So to make this code complete, so then you have to consider all cases. Okay, and we can, so those three parameters are input and those two parameters are solutions. It means returned value. So why do we call those two values simultaneously? Because that is kind of container and we want to be back with the solution. 자, 우리가 솔루션을 담아서 돌려보낼 빈 바구니까지 같이 보낸 겁니다. 그래서 여기서 세팅을 하면 여기에 적용이 돼요. So once we setting those values here, then it will reflect it here as well. Okay, so any questions? Or, okay, so please follow these examples and check then, and why don't you change the value coefficients and whether check the example works fine.
근해 공식 못 사용하면 어떻게 돼? 근해 공식 못 사용하면 어떻게 돼? 근해 공식 못 사용하면 그 B 빼기 2AC가 B 제곱 빼기
강태욱 학생 다 했어요. 다 한 건가요?
네.
예, 다 했어요? 잘 나와요?
네.
오케이, 굿. 다른 학생들도 다 잘 했나요? So any problem, or if you are not familiar with the grammar, please practice and go through a little bit more. to get familiar with it. 자, 문법이 익숙하지 않으면 문법에 대해서 조금 더 익숙해지도록 공부를 해보는 게 좋을 것 같고요. 오늘 이 example까지 잘 됐으면 Okay, so this is the last code we would like to cover for this session. Okay. Any question? Then please assign the appointment office hour or next week there will be another session. So please utilize it. Okay. Okay. Then see you next time.